Yo, what's good, everybody? Let me know if you can hear me. We are back home, ready to jump into the charts and an intense month of trading. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Volume check. Let me get a volume figure. Good to see you guys in. Right Guy's a Fly Guy. Rafa Crypto, Captain Crypto, Jason Marino. Good to see all you guys in. Man, I'm not in any trades yet, man. I'm chilling here on the sidelines with my Bybit account. But there's something big that is coming. Could be happening soon. This could be front ran. It could happen as soon as tomorrow, or like early August. But I'll explain to you guys the August short opportunity that I'm eyeballing right now. So obviously this is going against, what the overarching idea is with crypto, which is that we just had this bullish Trump speech, a lot of good things happening for Bitcoin on a macro sense, which, puts the average Bitcoin investor into this up only euphoric kind of mode. And that's dangerous, man. So as a trader, though, there's an opportunity there. And so, man, there's a lot of Jesus coin, a lot of people worshiping Bitcoin, like they would worship Jesus, except instead of worshiping Jesus, they're worshiping Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is the golden calf. Bitcoin is it's the bull. It's the thing that goes up. It's bullish. Symbolically, Bitcoin is the golden calf in the story of Moses, man. It's like, we lack leadership. Moses is gone. He's up on the mountain getting the tablet from the Lord up in Mount Sinai. And what are his people doing down below? They're worshiping the golden calf because they don't know what the hell's going on, man. So they've fallen to materialism and they've been led astray. And so, yeah, man, anytime people are caught worshiping Bitcoin a little too hard, I start thinking, maybe the markets have something to say about that. And my strategy the leapfrog strategy has been going really great. So let me just go over that real quick. As you guys know, I like to use these anchored VWAPs. So these are anchored VWAPs, which is just a tool for free on TradingView. You go on the left here, you click the anchored VWAP tool, and you place them at the starts of months, like on the first of each month. You could place them at like the yearly high. Like, see this orange VWAP is a VWAP place at the all-time high of Bitcoin. You've also got like the brown, the poop line here is a VWAP place at the yearly low for Bitcoin down here after the ETF dump. And so yeah, I use like the yearly low, the yearly high, and just a bunch of monthly VWAPs. So like the January 1st VWAP, this purple line, is also your year-to-date VWAP since it's the first day of the year. So that was an important VWAP to look at. But a really important pattern with these monthly VWAPs in relation to Bitcoin in particular is they like to leapfrog. And so, like, look, you see, you get the April VWAP. April is a down month. And then look, as soon as May comes around, this is May 1st. The first thing May does is it pumps up to that April VWAP. And so as soon as you get a new month, it tends to go back to the previous month. It happened again too. So let's see, you put that May anchor down and we'll make it pink here. And as soon as June comes, what's the first thing we do? We dump down to that May anchor. And it happened again. So look, so June was a bearish month here. As soon as July comes, we had a little bit of continued dumpage, but what's the first thing we do? We pump up to that June VWAP. And so whenever a fresh month forms, the first thing price wants to do is retread back to the previous month's anchored VWAP to find some safety, to find build a little bit of structure, and then the price can decide where it wants to go from there. And so what I'm anticipating is on August 1st, when this new monthly VWAP is formed, which will be right here, we'll put a little vertical line there. It's going to happen any day now, one more day here, and then we get a fresh, very important anchored VWAP. As soon as that happens, what's the first thing price is going to want to do? It's going to want to dump down to the previous month's anchored VWAP, which is this yellow July anchor here. And we're pretty close to there. We're pretty close. Now there's a lot of volume weighted support. Look at all these VWAPs scrunched together all right here. And so yes, this is not that big of a move, but there are a lot of psychological ideas that we would have to dump down into and chop through to actually get a test of that July VWAP. So it may be more difficult than it looks. But there's another thing that's bearish that I want to look at, which is the CME Futures Gap. There's a gap down here from back in early July that we just ran from. It's a huge 5% gap down here at this like 57 to 60K level. And this is a level where, you know, if we get a bearish August, you know, like let's say August comes, we get the VWAP and the price does dump down to this July VWAP line here. What if it continues lower? What if that's just the start of a larger bearish move, and August is a really shitty month and we end up coming down not only to fill that gap, but maybe we could come down lower. It's just an idea, but there are some things in the charts that are saying that like the bullishness is fake, that we're dealing with an AI generated like mid-journey artwork bull kind of environment here where people are bullish when they shouldn't be. And I think about the fake bull, I think about the golden calf and the story of Moses, bro. So like that's like the spiritual underpinnings of why I'm thinking there might be a big short that's about to happen here at the start of August. And man, it's good to see you guys in the chats. It's good to be live again. Happy to share my ideas and stuff. But I'm gonna be looking to enter a pretty large low leverage short, couple $100,000, hit this shit hard, because there's not really much, you know, there's not really much of a gap this month. Last month there was a massive gap. The leapfrog play was huge, so huge last month that it was hard to conceptualize the market pumping and filling it, and yet we did. So look at the blue anchored VWAP here that starts on June 1st. And when we were down here at these lows, you know, as soon as we gained traction over the fresh July VWAP, it was all she wrote. I mean, it was a straight pump up to that June VWAP. And so there was that monthly play there. And the reason why it continued up is because this wasn't just a monthly leapfrog. This was actually a quarterly leapfrog. Let me show you guys what a quarterly leapfrog play looks like here. So we'll go to a fresh Bitcoin chart. And let's see, we got Q1. So Q1 is January 1st. Q2 would be April 1st. And Q3 is July 1st. And so this month, the month of July, is not just July, it's Q3, right? And so the anchored VWAP for July is actually very important, and how we trend on it, whether above or below, dictates, you know, like where we're going, not just in July but in August and September. So it's really important, you know, what we do in relation to this yellow July VWAP here. Can we stay over it? I'm very confident that we are going to get a test of that July VWAP at some point in August, whether it's at the very beginning, which I'm thinking is highly likely, or some point in the middle of August, we come down and we tap it. But it's hard to say whether we're going to get a bullish bounce, you know, a bullish bounce from that level, which would be nice. You know, that would be nice. But if we fall below it, and if we just go through it, we know why. There's a big gap down there. And also, I mean, there's large macro reasoning for Bitcoin to come down. Like, and trust me, I'm quite a macro bullish individual. But look at the ranging that we had in the previous run. Like we had, you know, it was a big range. that this was playing in. And so it's really easy that you just get another big range like this and then continue up, right? So you know, just in terms of just looking at the volatility of the previous cycle, you know, there's a lot of volatility that's left on the table that we have yet to see yet. The monthly looks like shit. Look at that red dot on the monthly, totally aiming down. And while the 2-week seems to have given us a little bit of hope with this green dot, it has lost the plus 60 line. So we've lost a lot of that runaway train momentum on our weekly time frames. Like, yes, the weekly has given us a trigger wave, but it's not like we're over the 60 line and we're throbbing in a runaway train style bull market, dumb pump ape mode kind of candle setup. We're at like basically the 0 line on momentum, and so there's not much candle momentum going on right now, despite the fact that we have a green dot here on the weekly. And also from a anchored VWAP standpoint, there's some things I want to show you guys. So you grab your anchored VWAP tool, and we're just going to slap these on macro lifetime bottoms. We'll slap one on the COVID bottom, and we'll slap one on the bear market low. And you'll see that from a volume weighted average price perspective, Bitcoin has some safe haven that it can find down here in the low 40s. And so, you know, I'm either a complete retard or I'm a total visionary, but from a volume weighted standpoint, it would make sense if this collapsed and we chin checked anybody who thought that it was up only after the ETFs. Like back here, this is when we got those ETFs, right? And so, you know, people are thinking there's no way it can go back and retest that level. What if it did? You know, what if I mean, that would be really painful. Like, the markets tend to do the most painful scenario. What if this year or this quarter ends with us testing the ETF bullishness from a price perspective? You know, like if we came down here and we retested the low 40s and we got a bullish bounce off of these lifetime anchored VWAPs, my gosh, that's the catalyst for an explosive Q4 starting on October 1st. So we would have like a very prime Uptober scenario, or it could be like the remainder of the year is bearish if this goes very slow, like a slow bleed, and the year could the yearly candle could end up very squished and messed up and not looking too hot, but then maybe next year is better. But either way, I'm anticipating, you know, large disappointments when it comes to price. I'm anticipating the kind of move, you know, where we get something like this, and it would match, you know, what we see up here. Like you see like a topping pattern, right? Just like how you kind of have here, and then you get that capitulation down. But obviously, like that's not the end. You had a second pump in that bull run there, and then we did collapse down. But maybe this time, you know, you get some playing around in here, but then we do go up, because ultimately, you know, this is a large cup and handle, right? It's like a big, you get a big cup right here, then you get that handle, and then it's like boom, off to the races right there. It's also an inverted head and shoulders. If you did, you know, you see, like, you basically see a left shoulder, a head, and then you could get a right shoulder there, and that would be a nice bullish setup right there. So if things get bleak and for some reason, you know, things start to turn around for the worst, it's not the end of the world. It just means that there's more opportunities in the future, and you guys got to prioritize your survival in the markets, man. Because this shit is not about always being right, but it's about being left. If there's a mass extinction event, are you you know, are you going extinct like the dinosaurs, or are you resilient? Are you going to survive, man? So, you know, enough of the gloom talk, though. What is nice about the current like point that we're at is that look at all these VWAPs here. It's this huge block of volume weighted supports. If there was some sort of magical like bounce here from this level, it would make sense. Like we're basically just retesting the VWAP from the all-time high as support currently, And so if there was a bounce from this level, and it just started going up, it would make sense from a VWAP standpoint, because like all of these VWAPs are aiming up right now, and they're acting as a kind of support, right? And so, you know, that being said, if we get a candle close under this orange VWAP here, I am going to enter that big short position, and I'm going to be looking to take the majority profit down at the July VWAP, which is 62,740, and that's where I'm at. So we're above all the anchored VWAPs. That is a nice bullish posturing for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin can stay over this level and stay above these VWAPs, you know, it does have clear skies. It does have a clear shot at making all-time highs. But you know, Bitcoin has failed this in the past. Like, see up here, you know, we did get an attempt to Buzz Lightyear fly out the window here out of Sid's basement, but Buzz Lightyear failed, and he slammed back down under those VWAPs, and we had to get a lower low. And so, you know, here we are again trying to Buzz Lightyear out of the gulag, and it's hard to say if this is going to be the successful bounce out of here, and it gets to go to an all-time high in August before it retests that July VWAP. Or if we're just going to lose all these VWAPs again, man. So that's what I'm looking at. You know, 65,679, this current level that we're at right now, is a critical support for Bitcoin. And there's so many critical supports down here, like 64,946 is your Q2 VWAP. The year-to-date VWAP is at 64,464. And so that's a critical support, and then the June VWAP's down there too. So, man, there's a lot of really strong ideas that are, for now, holding Bitcoin up. But just going by like what price tends to do from month to month, what's in the cards is a much needed retest of the yellow July anchored VWAP. So it's worth me putting a short on the boards for that move to happen. If it gets stopped out, so be it. I'll lose like $2,000 or $2,500. That's fine. But if I win, I stand to gain $10,000 or $15,000 or whatever. So, you know, in trading, you don't always want to, like, you can't just bet everything, and you know, there's always that chance that you're wrong. But if you have a strong logic and a market edge, and you're just seeing things play out the way that you want them to, then it's worth entering the trade. You got to pull the trigger, bro. So, and let me catch up on some of these comments here. Casablankovic, good to see you, man. Patrick, Clate the Great, Trade Intuition. Squirt says, we need to come back to test the 40K range. It'd still be bullish. We haven't had a good correction. I agree with you, Squirt. It's not healthy that we're, you know, we've been up here in this sideways range, and we haven't, you know, gone for some of these lower levels here. And there's definitely enough Bitcoin to sell, you know, by Grayscale or by nation states or wherever. Like, trust me, there's entities out there with too much Bitcoin. There's too much Bitcoin that has been hoarded, and these all-time high levels are the most attractive levels for participants in the market to exit. I mean, if this was the Titanic sinking, you know, the rescue phase is almost over, right? The pump up from the violins, you know, the violins are playing, the ship is sinking, but then the rescue mission begins, and the women and children are boarded onto the lifeboats. And yes, there's gunshots, there's dips, you know, on the way up. There's gunshots on the boats, and there's drama. There's dudes getting crushed by smokestacks and sucked through the holes and shit. But overall, you know, the mission to save humanity off the Titanic is working out until you get to the very end. And like, so right at the end, we're on the cusp of rescue. Like, the lifeboat man is about to rescue us, and we're about to reach, you know, all new heights in the market. You know, where we are at in the Titanic story is the majority of the market participants are bobbing up and down in the icy cold waters not knowing if rescue is coming. And so unless you're the main character like Rose, or unless you're a man of service, unless you're on the producer side of the trading world and you have to be here every day, or if you're FG doing 100 push-ups every day, staring at Bitcoin every freaking day, like unless you're that, it's tough to hold on, man. You know, it's an enticing level to sell. It's like it's an enticing point to let go. That's why Rose tells Jack, like, don't let go. And Jack's like, I can't hold on anymore, man. I can't take this shit anymore. And he sinks to the bottom of the ocean. So yeah, so anyone who thinks it's going straight up to 100K might be in for a world of hurt here, man. Let's see. Zeed Carmoot says ETH chart looks like it's front running the bearish idea, especially on the daily and weekly, with a red diamond on the daily and weekly. Yeah, man. So we take a look at Ethereum here. Haven't been doing much Ethereum trading. Ethereum really was my bread and butter in the last bull cycle here, but I haven't really been paying too much attention to ETH this cycle. Looks like we do have a red dot forming on the weekly, which is quite scary. You know, you do have a larger, you know, just like a macro money flow downtrend that goes all the way into 2026. I mean, like, this kind of indicates, you know, trouble for ETH extending all the way into 2026 here. And so, yeah, I mean, you've got also like a blue wave, a large blue wave downtrend there going on. Not to say that those readings have any bearing on what's immediately going to happen here, but what about the daily? Daily seems to be turning down a little bit too. So obviously, if Bitcoin chooses to go down, ETH will go down as well. And a Bitcoin going down would cause dominance to go up. So if you go to Bitcoin dominance, the dominance has been like breaking out. You know, it's like the dominance is breaking out and coming and breaking up over new levels of resistance and just going higher and higher. If you place a fib from like this high in dominance to the low, you know, you've got a 618 retracement dominance play here. It's like it could go all the way up to 60% in my opinion. And that may be a level where we would finally begin to consider Bitcoin dominance topping out. And all this year I've been saying Bitcoin is the drop of truth in a sea of lies. And people whose portfolios have been majority Bitcoin have held afloat pretty good, whereas people who are saddled with altcoins and shitcoins and meme coins have actually taken a beating pretty hard in the last couple of months. But where I'm getting at with this is, let's say Bitcoin dumps one more time, you know, into those low 40s or even into the 50s or whatever. Like one more big dump for Bitcoin would surge the dominance up to what is likely its final resting place, you know. And from that point, dominance begins to dump. Altcoins are finally allowed to surge, but the altcoins all have to come down a bit first. And so altcoins such as Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, all these things, they're going to dump super hard along with Bitcoin. And once Bitcoin finds its final bottom, that marks the beginning of the real altcoin cycle that everybody is frothing at the mouth about. And I may have to change my tune about Bitcoin being the drop of truth in the sea of lies, because once, you know, if Bitcoin's at 40K and all these alts are super bottomed out, it's going to be real hard to justify not getting some exposure into key altcoins from that point. Key meme coins, key altcoins. That's going to be a very good strategic move that I'll be looking at. It would be investing into some good meme coin and altcoin projects, stacking as much Bitcoin as I can down at those 50 and 40K levels, and just freaking hoping and praying that that is really the bottom, that you know, the anchored VWAPs, these lifetime VWAPs from like the COVID bottom and like the old bear market bottom, like I really would be banking on these VWAPs holding and that serving as a really strong support for a very strong bounce. So, you know, in the worst case scenario, we get that dump down, and it's just a great opportunity, and it marks the beginning of the altcoin super cycle. It's not the end of the world. It's just, all it's doing is it's the market testing all the bullishness from the ETFs that were approved this year. It's totally healthy, and it's good for the common man. It's more time for the average person to get into crypto. And overall, it's just a great freaking thing, man. I get more jacked. I get to do push-ups for longer. It's just great, man. I mean, we should be praying for a healthy pullback, praying for cheaper crypto, because none of us are ready for this shit to go to 100K. If Bitcoin was at 100K tomorrow, would you honestly say I was ready for that? Like, because the world changes when Bitcoin hits 100K. Are you really ready for Bitcoin to be 100K tomorrow? I'm not, bro. I still gotta lose 30 pounds, man. I'm still a fat ass. I still only have like 3K YouTube subscribers. Marcus says, FG, when are you going to fight Jake Paul? Dude, that'd be sick, man. I actually sent Jake Paul a message. I said, I was like keyboard catting. I was like, dude, my company logo's on your Instagram. When are we gonna have a chat? So whenever he's not busy, man, maybe I'll have a chat with Jake Paul. That would be cool. And it was tough. It was tough watching my boy Mike Perry get the shit kicked out of him in Tampa, man. I was there in the front row with Randy Hipper. I took her there for the clout, bro. So she was taking cool pictures of me. I took a cool picture of her with her red dress. And it was a good time, man. We like I said, it was tough watching Mike get beat, but it was good for branding. It was good for Mike, because him and Jake Paul are cool. And, you know, Mike's got a whole new, like, boxing, dirty boxing, like, thing that he's got going on now. And, you know, people have a lot of things to say, but I think that fight was good for Mike and good for Jake Paul, so it was good that it happened, and it was an entertaining fight. So props to our boy Mike for getting in that freaking ring and doing that shit, because another thing, I was able to meet Jake Paul's team, you know, like outside the arena, and like I met a lot of the people who know Jake Paul personally and are working with him, and they are all good people. He's got like a good team of professionals and good people that he's working with. He's helping a lot of charities. He's promoting Olympic boxing, and he's doing a lot of good things. So even though he's like got a lot of haters, you got to have a level of respect for like what Jake Paul's been able to do. And it was just cool to see Market Cypher clash with that whole, you got like the Jake Paul train, and you got the Mike Perry train backed by Market Cypher and shit. And it was just cool that like both these trains were able to butt heads, and we were just able to see what the fuck happens, man. So we saw what happened. And after that fight, I had to fly up to Nashville and do that Bitcoin conference stuff, and had a good time there, man. Met a lot of crypto YouTubers, and like got some good feedback, had some great conversations, and got to be a part of Bitcoin history. But that's pretty much it for me, guys. So let's see here. Let's look at the immediate price action. I believe that on August 1st, once we get that fresh August anchored VWAP, the TA and the streams here are going to get really exciting, because it's like, what are we going to do? What's the price going to do on August 1st when that new narrative, when that new monthly narrative begins? It's going to be an exciting time. As for now, you know, it's a tough time to actually enter a trade currently, because we're at the end of a month. You know, we're it's a dying narrative. The July narrative of July is bullish, right? It could be dead already, or you know, there could be a little bit of extra bullishness going into August, and then we get that dump down to the July anchor here down at 62.7. But either way, you know, I think tomorrow or the next day I'll be entering a short trade, but I haven't done it yet. So that's pretty much where I'm at, guys. And thanks for tuning in for the update. If you guys want Market Cipher, you have I'll keep Code Platinum active just for tonight. If any of you guys are watching, Code Platinum will get you Market Cipher 25% off, but tomorrow I'm going to turn that code off, and it's only active because I forgot to deactivate it. So if you want to use Code Platinum for 25% off to get the indicators, go for that, and the link in my is in my description for that. If you guys are thinking about joining my VIP, you could shoot me an email at nickcypherfg@gmail.com, and I'll get you in. We'll do a consultation. We'll see where you're at with your trading, and I'll get you into the VIP for life, and the link for that's in the description as well. And make sure you guys like and subscribe and drop a little comment on the stream once I end it here. And that's pretty much all I got. So you guys have a great night, and catch me tomorrow at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And much love to you guys.